one and only, podcasting. Humaning Well is the podcast. Humaning Well. You can catch that everywhere you get your podcast and on YouTube. Amber Cabral is here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty awesome. I am pretty awesome. And I'm not saying that because I actually am, but I am. As I was mentioning, we prepare way in advance for when we're not going to be here live. And I was actually live on our very first Thanksgiving, which
Oh,
is crazy.
wow.
Yeah, I made everybody come in. I made them come
On
in.
What are you
Thanksgiving?
doing?
Yeah, Smith wasn't here. So if Smith was here, we probably wouldn't have gone live because he's the first one like, nah, I ain't doing that. But everybody showed up.
Hell no.
Yep. So, but the show was hilarious. It was wonderful. It was all of the things. And that was 11 years ago. And as I was listening back to it, the people have changed,
Right.
but I'm so consistent, Amber. And
That's
I'm
good.
proud of I'm proud of that because it says that I stand on business and I have not wavered and I have changed and grown,
Yep.
a little bit, but we
Some.
still doing the
We
mission.
still growing.
Yeah.
We're not changing necessarily. We're not changing in bad ways. We're consistent in good ways.
Okay. So I first want to send warm love prayers to Reverend Jesse Jackson and his family. He's been hospitalized, of course. The first black person that I voted for president in a primary was Jesse Jackson when I was on the campus of Drew University. The first time I ever voted, I was able to cast a vote for him, 84 years old. He was admitted to the hospitals under observation for an elevated pulse and palsy. This, of course, he has a neurodegenerative condition which impairs his balance, speech, and ability to swallow, which is horrible. And he's been managing this for decades. He was initially diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it has progressed. And so the family appreciates all the prayers at this time. So I'm going to put that out there. We just last week talked to Abby Phillip, who has a book about Reverend Jesse Jackson. And there's so many figures in history that have paved the way and have allowed for things to happen. And I think we so get caught up in, the new, the fresh, the thing. None of these things are able to happen but for somebody that helped to make it easier for you to do whatever it is that you're doing that you think
Yep.
you're the first and the best at.
Exactly.
Just
That's a
wanted to say
fact.
that. I also, before the show, was watching this Mormon show on Peacock. it's starring this woman that is on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I don't watch. Right, I tapped out of Atlanta. I was still watching Potomac, and then Karen Huger went to jail, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done with all of the housewife shows. So I don't watch any housewife show. I may dip back in and Married to Medicine, but I was watching this show, and it caught my attention because I do watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Hmm.
And one might ask why? Why, Karen, do you waste your valuable, amazing time? Was that your question, Amber?
I am thoroughly, I am so interested. Like, first of all, I feel like I barely have time to be watching TV, and these are some selections. Okay.
Yes. Yes, they're choices. And I don't have time either. But we tend to make time, Amber, for nonsense.
We do. And we
Y'all
need.
don't have time?
So the science says, for what it's worth, the neuroscience says we need to play. This is your play.
Correct. Because
Okay.
I don't really do too much of anything else. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna watch me some TV.
Okay.
But I'm particularly curious. Like my TV watching now is very international. Like I just finished the South African
Okay.
series. It was so good too. I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow. And I'm watching a lot of Korean television, even though I know
Yeah.
the Koreans
Koreans.
are complicated. They're
Yeah.
complicated. We're going to talk a little bit about the Koreans as it relates to the president today. But I was in because I don't watch the Salt Lake City Housewives, but this woman apparently did a whole book on being a Mormon, and I think it was called Bad Mormon.
Mm.
And with The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I watch it for the hypocrisy.
So
I watch. I like to
watched an
see.
episode. You
Did you?
messaged me about this show, and I was like, okay. And I made it through probably about 3/4 of an episode.
Okay. Sorry, I apologize to you, Amber.
I was like, oh, this is I don't even know the right words. It should be this programming should be studied.
This is my point. Okay, so I'm wildly critical
Hmm.
of the enormous impact that this reality TV has had
Yes.
on society. I,
Hmm.
I hate that everybody's trying to look like a Kardashian.
Yes.
I really, our faces are so beautiful. I don't care what it looks like. That's
Right.
your face. Like,
Right.
can we have our own faces and
Right.
grow old gracefully? And,
Exactly.
you could dye whatever you want to do with your hair. That's your business. But all
Right.
of the fillers and the lip injections and just the transformation of people who no longer look like themselves,
Yeah.
what's the point? Do you not like who you are? It's okay. Because if you're real, you're spending more time inside your
Mhm.
body, inside, the outward thing really is a reflection of what's
What's on
happening
the
inside.
inside?
So you're just wearing a mask.
But
You're
that just
still
lets
not
you
being.
know that they are doing that on the inside. Like you're
That's
just
my point. That's my
yeah,
point.
you're
Okay.
just telling us. Yeah.
So I'm watching this Mormon thing, and she's going through this whole thing, and she's like, the church believes that there are three separate levels of heaven,
Hmm.
and you have to live a life of perfection in order to achieve this celestial kingdom and live together with your family forever. So they believe, after you die,
Yep.
you go live with your family. She said, and there are very specific rules to be able to get to each level of. So I was thinking
Hmm.
that this is why we are living in this current condition of
Oh,
hell.
for sure.
This, yes, the rules, the laws that no one can keep up with because we are by nature flawed. We are imperfect by nature.
Yes. And what's interesting about Mormonism is I did some work for Ancestry earlier this year, and it took me to Utah, which is Mormon. So that's their state. And I learned several things that knocked my socks off. And one of them is even the classism that we experience is encouraged by the Mormons because of the way that they assign you a church based on your community. So if I live in this neighborhood, they tell you which location you go to. And by the way, if you are not at said location, then people will come and knock on your door and go, "Hey, I haven't been seeing you at church. Is everything okay?" Like it is literally like I am going to hold you accountable to these standards that we have set. It is a part of my duty as a member of this community. And by the way, should you elevate, amplify, go buy a new house in a new community, they reassign you to the church for that community, which reinforces the classism because they're not mixing the people who live in the $600,000 houses with the people who live in the $100,000 houses.
Okay. Now, some of you, if you're new to the program, hi, welcome. If you're just
Hi.
tuning in for the
Welcome.
first time,
You're right.
hi. I'm never talking about the thing that you think I'm talking about. And the reason why I watch these shows is so that I can be less judgmental, but also it gives me an insight into
Yes.
why it is so hard to change a made up mind, why
Yes.
it is so hard to get people to, like, here's some facts.
Yes.
Come on over here and get some of these facts.
Yes.
No, because my Bible says that I'm not supposed. So I'm watching this, and she talks about these rules. There are 613 rules to be a member of the Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints,
Hmm.
which is kind of Christiany, but not really Christiany. Okay. And again, I'm not judging. If you are Mormon, God bless you. You're not supposed to call yourself a Mormon. That's one of the rules, by the way.
Hmm.
You do not refer to yourself as a Mormon. But I was like, the amount of rules, and it's why we see it in the Catholic Church, all of these rules, and then here come the priests doing all of these things to the babies because you can't be married because it's really about the money. It's not about your being
Always
chaste.
about the
It's
money.
about the money. But
Always
you
about
have
the money.
now trying to force yourself to behave a way that you just aren't naturally. And I'm not saying that we should not discipline ourselves and also, have, deal with our impulses that are negative or whatever. We should be constantly working on ourselves. But individually, that's an individual pursuit. This
Yeah.
collective way in which you want a
Yeah.
whole massive millions of people to behave is antithetical to being a human being. The whole point of being a human being is that you are unique,
Yeah.
wondrously made, and that
Yeah.
you're supposed to be your full, complete self to fit into the tapestry of humanity so we all can learn something from one another, so we all can grow from one another's experiences. We're supposed to be different. This sameness thing, And so I was thinking two things. Yesterday, I had a wonderful woman on. She did a documentary on the old ways in which Black people used to feed themselves. There was no food insecurity because we were growing our own stuff and we
Right.
were sharing our food. And we might need to go back to that, even if the government is open and you get your SNAP. This to me is an opportunity to do something different. We were also talking about, buying land and collectively being more intentional about where we live and why we live where we live. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Where you live, if it is too expensive, why do you stay? 866-801-8255. If it is too expensive where you're living to live a full, complete, whole, healthy, fun life with all of the resources, why do you stay there? Why do you stay there? If it's too dangerous, why do you stay? Like we are free, right? We can move. And there's a whole swath of land
Now,
in
Karen.
places that are very cheap and not a lot of people. And you brought up Utah, which I think barely has 1 million people, but they have somehow commandeered an entire state, the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints people. And because part of their law is also to be politically engaged. I printed out 15 pages, by the way. I printed out all of the laws.
All
'Cause
600 of them?
Yeah, 613,
Yeah,
which those of
613.
you
Okay.
who study the Torah
Yeah.
or the Old Testament, depending on what your faith is, 613 comes up with Moses as well in the Torah. There's
Yeah.
613. There's something about the 613 laws. But if you're a Christian, Jesus gave you two. And they both start with love. So if you're a real Christian, you ain't got but two commandments. But 613, okay, number one, pay a full tithing. That's
Yeah.
how you keep the money going.
Mhm.
It's interesting that the first law is about money. Money to them, to the
Also,
church.
well, I know you're gonna go through these rules, but you do know that part of that moving and all of that, again, the people are trained to watch. You think they watching each other, they watching everybody. The training is to watch everybody, including your pockets, because they want your tax returns and will tell you if you didn't give the right amount.
Okay. Well, number two, fast once a month for a day. I like that one. Number three, give the money you would have spent while fasting to the church.
Correct. That's right.
Okay. Go take the sacrament each week. Repent of everything wrong that has been done before you take the sacrament. Number 7, do not smoke. Number 8, do not drink alcoholic beverages. Number 9, do not drink coffee. Number 10, do not drink tea. So there's a rule. I was like, what's up with coffee and tea? Well, it's the caffeine, but it's also they're not supposed to have hot beverages. I don't know what that does to your soul and why that might send you to hell. Somebody can call up and tell me. And listen, I'm not judging. If you are following these rules, God bless you. Bless you. Bless you. But I'm going to need you to do that and leave the rest of us to do whatever we're going to do. I have no problem with you doing all of the things. Do what you need to do to make you happy. Just leave everybody else alone. Leave people alone. Like, let's stop trying to force people. Do not, number 11, chew tobacco. Do not use drugs. Number 16, do not affiliate with any group or people opposed to the church.
Yeah.
You cannot affiliate. So how do you win souls? So you fake affiliating when you going around, or you fake developing relationships?
I told you it's peer pressure. They will come to your house. You got to tell them, oh, I don't attend.
Okay. All right. Pay child support. Oh, here's number 19. Wear temple garments day and night. So I heard about the magical underwear. And I've been joking about the magical underwear. And I shouldn't do that. Because if you wear these, that's your business. I'm not going to yuck your yum. Do what you do that makes you happy. So the temple underwears, the garments that serve a number of purposes. First, the garment is underwear, right? In the white. First, the garment provides the member a, quote, constant reminder of the covenants they made in the temple. Second, the garment, which when worn properly, provides protection against temptation and evil. I'm not sure. Maybe they're very tight. They looked uncomfortable. So I guess if you
Okay, wait, is that all? Is what you're describing also the temple garment? Is the underwear the temple
it's the
garment?
it might be. What's the difference? But they said they got to wear day and night. So I'm
Well,
thinking
that's
it's
what I'm
the
saying. Is it
underwear.
underwear? Okay.
Yeah, it's underwear. I
Maybe
think
it's the underwear. So it's under their
underwear.
clothing.
Yes,
Okay.
under the clothing.
Okay.
Yes. And wearing the
Basically,
garment.
you can only wear white undergarments, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now, what if you have your period? I have questions.
I
Anyway,
don't.
I'm gonna mind my business. Okay. Refer to yourself as a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, Jesus of Latter-day Saints, not a Mormon. Number 30, do not swear. Goes through a whole. I'm not going to read all 613, but
Oh, come on.
I put, huh?
You
What?
missed the no drinking one. There's a no
Oh,
alcohol.
no drugs, no drugs, no
Yeah.
drinking alcohol. That was number
But they
8. Do
tax
not
the
drink alcohol,
alcohol though. They're gonna get the taxes off the alcohol.
even if you can't drink. So who's drinking
So let
alcohol?
me tell you how the alcohol works in Utah. This blew my mind. Okay, so went to go have a
Drink some
cocktail
water.
after. Um, First of all, you have to show your ID before you can even enter the area where the alcohol is. Not even so, like not even just like if you're not drinking, doesn't matter. You can't even be over there. Okay. Then for you to order a drink, you know how like in the U.S. we go we hear oh yeah let me get a round of drinks first and I'll figure out what I'm gonna eat. No. If you're gonna order a drink, you have to order food. So they're collecting and there's taxes on all of this stuff. So if you're
So you
going to
just can't
order
have a drink.
you cannot just go ahead. You have to order food. So I said, oh, yeah, well, let me just get a glass of wine and I'll figure out what I want to eat. And I was told we cannot do that. You also cannot have two beverages. So, like, let's say I'm finishing up this glass of wine and I know I want another, and you'll say, oh, would you like another? And you'll bring it to me and I haven't quite finished the. No, can't do that. Have to be on only one drink. Also, again, you have to have food in order to have the drink. Now, there are certain statutes. If you are a bar, then you can have just a drink, but there are so many qualifications for you to be able to operate a bar that what most people do is operate a restaurant, which means in order to be served a drink, you have to also sell food and you have to serve food. You cannot have a drink without food. You can only have one drink at a time. You cannot have more than, if the drink is a two-part drink, you can't have, a beer and a shot. No, you cannot do that.
Wow. Well,
But all of
I
it's taxed.
actually I wouldn't have a problem with it because I don't drink.
Right, you don't drink,
But
but I'm just saying
right,
this is an
no, I'm
interesting.
saying. But again, I have had parties and I would serve drinks. I know
I
how
was
to
at
bar.
one. I
Yeah,
was at
I
one.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with because again, how you live your life, that's part of being free, right?
That's it.
I don't have any opinion on it. If you're not harming people. Now we're going to talk about pedophiles later. The president, Epstein, all we're going to talk about that later. Allegedly, but as far as what you practice, as long as but it gets weird to me when number 64 members should research their genealogy. That's a requirement. It's like a rule. And the obsession with genes is a red flag to me
Mm.
because the only race is human. And when you start getting so caught up in the percentages of how much human you are based on where your people are from, it becomes very red flaggy to me, very eugenicsy to me, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You got to keep your house clean. You got to keep your yard maintained. You got to be honest. Don't commit adultery or fornication. Do not lust. How do you police that? Do not watch an R-rated movie. There's also a rule that if you are in a movie and it's inappropriate, you must get up and leave.
Mm.
You can't even eat anything with coffee as an ingredient, so it must be something with the caffeine, not just the warm or hot drinks. No oral sex and no sex with animals. That's number 491. No sex with
Wait, no
animals.
oral sex is on there specifically?
Yeah, 490. No oral sex. It's
Okay.
here. I printed it out. No witchcraft. Um, no. Do not attend sporting events on Sunday. So, some interesting things. But I say all this to say, you know, as we're living in a society right now that has gone off the rails, and there's a lot of evangelicals and all these people, leaning on faith and using their faith as a wedge item to keep people from holding them accountable for the horrible things that are being done in the name of whatever. I think we're in a modern day crusades, and it's wrong, right? And I feel like if you have faith, and that's fine, do your thing. But when it starts bleeding over into my rights and resources, my ability to move about the cabin, I think we should all have a problem with that,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can believe how you'd like to believe. I do think that where belief goes wrong is where you start inflicting onto others what their belief needs to be to make room for your belief. I pulled this list up and I'm a little shocked that one of them is no loud laughter.
Yes. Oh, yes. What number
You
is
can't
that? Oh,
laugh
number
out loud.
174.
Number
Number 170.
174 is
One
no
number.
loud
No.
laughter.
No loud laughter. Oh my goodness. So
What?
You can't be black and be a real. It's like we gonna laugh,
Yeah, big
okay?
expressions of joy
Shh.
are not okay. Wonder why.
Yeah, it's right there with oral sex. Anyway, no tattoos, and men must wear white shirts to church. Anyway, so like to me, if you have to legislate and regulate a person's behavior to the point that everybody's a cookie cutter, then what was the point of God making us look different and be different and have all these different complexions and hair textures and personality? What was the point? What was God doing? If why didn't God just make everybody the same? Then what? You know, I was talking with Michelle Wolf, the comedian, yesterday. I'm going to be playing that interview on Monday, and she's the only redhead in her family. And she talks about being the only redhead in her school and the amount of teasing she got for
Mm.
being something you could not control or ask for. She didn't ask to be redhead with curly hair, but people are gonna bash her. I'm watching the South African series I'm gonna talk about tomorrow, and the lead actress, her dad is white, and she got bullied for being light complected in South Africa, bullied for being light complected, something that she did not ask for nor control, but because of other people's feelings about the white folk, everything. Now it's do you think we're gonna figure this out, Amber Cabral? Because
And do you want
I'm
the
at a point.
optimistic answer or you want the real answer? Because I'm gonna tell you,
I want the real answer.
the real answer is I do not think we are going to figure it out until we start intentionally teaching our children differently. Because you carry all of this stuff with you from school, from the work. I mean, you got a comedian talking about her being bullied as a child. It comes from childhood. So until the children are being taught differently and not teasing and not, and we're mindful about the fact that differences exist and all, until that happens, no, I think it's going to continue. It's happening at work. People getting teased and dragged and roasted and all of that stuff. And cliques at work. And I unfortunately, in my lifetime, no, unfortunately, I do not think that it is going to be different. Now, I will say this, even though I do not believe it is going to be different in my lifetime, I am actively with the young people in my life taking the position to make sure that we understand difference and that we allow space for difference and that in fact difference is phenomenal unless and up to it is unsafe for you. And also, we have very serious conversations about the difference between uncomfortable and unsafe.
Mm.
Because some of y'all think y'all unsafe and you're just a little uncomfortable because somebody laughing loud. Okay, and you are uncomfortable. So I think until that dialogue starts to like pervasively get into the children's minds, and I do think we see some of it now, right? Like there's a lot of open, diverse identity with the younger folks. We've got
Yeah.
all the conversations about, what my pronouns are and, what my proclivities might be in terms of practices and beliefs and all of that.
Uh,
And I do
all
think
right.
that
I'm gonna put up a church
I know what
judgmental
you mean. I
finger.
know where you go. I know, but I do want to
Just a
say,
little bit. We don't care.
right,
Just be. I don't care
be.
what your pronoun. Just
But my
be. Just
point
be.
is,
Whatever. My
we
God, the
can't jump to
pronouns.
just be though. We can't just. It's a little walk, and on the walk, I get to express. And so I feel like we are seeing some signs that people would like to be something other than what we have assigned to them. That to me makes room for the potential for you to later just be.
Okay. All right. And maybe because I don't care what you do.
You don't.
Just leave me
You
alone.
don't.
I don't want to have to twist myself into a pretzel because, anyway, but at the same time, I'm going to respect whatever it is you want to be called.
Right.
That said, it doesn't really just be yourself and people will have to accept you. They just will.
The
And
people for
that's how
you
I feel.
will. Yeah.
Amber Cabral is here. So this is going to be a conversation about Jeffrey Epstein. This is where I'm going with this. And I'm going to tie it all together when we come back. But let's take some calls because there's some people, and I'm not talking about Mormons. I'm not really having a conversation about Mormons. I'm having a conversation about the ways in which society is forcing us to have to walk in lockstep with an ideal that is not just unreasonable, but why? Why are we doing this? And if it's about faith, if it's about
Yeah.
your faith, you believe in God, I just remember, especially Jesus was hanging out with all kind of people. And I don't remember one scripture where he said, you got to be just like this. Everybody follow. As a matter of fact, he went and found 12 different people, including somebody that he knew was going to betray him. He got 12 different looking kind of people. Had women putting perfume on his feet. He was out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go
Listen,
to,
I mean,
well,
to
go
your
ahead. I'm
point,
sorry.
I know you're about to go to a call, but I just want to add, in addition to, it's not just that we want everybody to be the same. We are teaching each other how to monitor it, how to inspect to make sure you the same. And if you're not the same, tease you about it. So it's like all three of
Ah,
those. That's a lot.
it is a lot, and it's making it hard to be here. The amount of people who don't want to be here, I get it.
Yeah.
This kind of sucks right now. We can do better. Pia in Nevada, you want to have something to say? Amber Cabral is here. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Hey, Karen and Ms. Cabal. I've called before, so I'm not a first time caller. But I just want to say I think one of the things that lingers in that religion, and probably for a lot of people who are not melanated, is maybe over 40 years ago when I was traveling cross country. My classmate and I, we stopped in Utah and we went to their huge cathedral. And as we were being given a tour, there are like different paintings and stained glass windows. And one of the things that we were told was that with regards to Black people, we were cursed because what happened was, according to them in the Old Testament, when Noah got drunk, his sons laughed at him, or one of his sons, I think it was Ham.
Ham,
and
it was Ham.
It was Ham. And as a result, Noah cursed him, but wound up cursing Ham's son, and they became Black people. And as a result, slavery was necessary almost. So
well, it's a weird thing because Joseph Smith was also an abolitionist. It becomes complicated, but there's always reasons, right? So it was the curse of Cain. Cain killed Abel.
Right.
But where were the other people? It was just them. So how did they procreate? Was Eve having babies with? Stuff gotta make sense. Okay, y'all really should be thinking about this. But anyway, so and then Ham, as you mentioned, discovered his father was naked. But why was his father naked and drunk? Anyway, like, we're going to ignore that. We're going to focus on him making fun of his drunk, naked daddy, who I think also laid with his daughters. Y'all look, I mean, it's so much in the scripture that doesn't line up with what you know in your soul
To be
feels right, you know. And to just blindly say, okay, well, this is what it says, to not take into account that somebody cobbled together these words for a purpose is also, to me, very naive of us. I'm going to be kind. But yeah, that mark of Cain, until they couldn't get enough members. Now there's about 17.25 million Mormons worldwide, right? A lot of them are overseas, and one of their 613 laws is to go out and proselytize, right? They have to go out and do that. Not unlike Jehovah's Witnesses. 17.25 million. The numbers were dwindling. And then they were like, this Black thing we might need to reconsider, because we need to go out into these Black spaces, because there's a lot of Black people. Quiet as it's kept, you know, the continent of Africa is overflowing with people. There's billions of people there. Yes. And if your numbers are dwindling, where do you go? Hey, Catholics, where do you go? Hey, all of the people. Why do the missionaries go out? And somebody please look up, why is missionary position a thing? Y'all should really know why you do the things you do. I have so many thoughts. All right, thank you, Pia. I'll take another caller or two. Let's go to Nick in Philadelphia. Thank you for holding and calling. Hi.
Hey, what's going on, Karen? What's up, Amber?
What's good?
Sorry, I'm just stepping out the office.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So I did an internship where I had a Mormon roommate, and at the time, I didn't know what that meant. That was just my man. But he and we went on some adventures.
Out your roommate now. Hold on. Don't let him.
Huh? Was oral sex involved in this, Nick? At any point, was there some oral sex, some alcohol?
No.
Okay.
No, but to find out what Mormonism meant, and then having spent that summer with him, that was one of the most woman chasingest man that I ever roomed with. It was amazing. Actually, I learned a thing or two from how he just said he saw a woman. He would say, "Hey, she's the most beautiful girl I saw in my life," and he went and chased after her, got her number. So he was doing his thing. I guess setting up for a flock.
Right. It also says you should have as many children as you possibly can have.
Yes.
That's an actual rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What,
saw the
so,
underwear too.
and also do not masturbate. That's number 92.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was odd, but then I realized, oh, those are his just underpants. You know, they're like right above the knee. And you know, he
He
washed
was
them.
Oh wait,
wearing those every day.
these are the garments?
Yeah. Real talk. Yeah, real talk.
Oh.
So he was
Yeah, that's real.
fornicating and wearing the underwear at the same time?
Oh, I'm not saying he was fornicating, but he was definitely collecting a roster. And we were in Boston at the time. He was from Washington, so he was just making a bunch of connections.
Okay.
I went to church with him.
Okay.
That
So
church
you
experience
did
was
not
unlike
witness
anything.
him actually having unclean relations with women.
He not gonna out his
No,
roommate.
he was single. Nah, he was single. He was single.
He not gonna out his roommate. Don't make him out his
Why
roommate.
not? Why not? It's radio. Nobody's listening, Nick.
You know, people
all
know
good.
people's voices. You know, when people walk up to me
Okay.
like Amber Cabral. So no, don't do that.
Okay. All right. But you saw the magical underwear with your own two eyes?
Yeah. He wore them every day. He washed them, cleaned them, dried them. You know, like that was real. That was real.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw that. I went to church with him too.
And what was
Crazy.
that experience?
It was literally an all-day affair, from 10 to like 3, 4 o'clock. They got you in there, and they did some real. It was real weird because they had a main service, everybody together. Then they broke you out into groups, so they separated the young from the old, and then they separated the young men from the young women, and then you came back together, and then you separated again, and then you came back together as a whole congregation. And then after that, I'm like, man, that's like 2 o'clock. I'm ready to go. And there's like, no, there's ice cream. There's an ice cream social.
You
So
ain't
we
even
stayed
get
for
fried
the ice
chicken and macaroni and cheese?
Wait,
Yeah,
there's
ice
ice
cream.
cream?
Ice cream social at the end. Yeah, it was very weird. I didn't understand Mormonism until like I read up on it afterwards. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Okay. And again, I didn't bring it up to make fun of people's faith, because if this is what you do and you enjoy it, I'm here for you. I'm saying, though, we've been indoctrinated into rules and laws and things that run counter to our own humanity and to everyone else's humanity. And I think we should challenge everything that we've been told to do, because some of the stuff ain't right. Like, we should not be providing coverage for pedophiles. We shouldn't be electing pedophiles. People who touch people who are adjudicated sex offenders should not be holding public office. They shouldn't be leaders in your church. They shouldn't be leaders in society. They should be ostracized. Those are the people that should be cast aside and made to not want to be like. But that seems to be the opposite, and I want to talk about that when we come back, even though y'all want to talk about Mormons. All right, we're here for it. Amber Cabral is here. Say more about that, Amber. Humaning Well is the brand. I love it. I love her. And when we come back, we're going to talk with the people, because I love y'all too. All right, it's the Karen Hunter Show. We'll be right back.
Check out Karen Hunter is Awesome, the podcast. Available wherever you get your podcast.